everyone. I know that you've heard of the Israeli-Hamas war that has been going on for quite some time now. And I also know, because I hear from a lot of people, that everybody feels the need to take a side, and the media pushes a very specific side. As the most popular news anchor inside Africa is Al Jazeera, there is a very specific side and agenda that is being pushed. Very, very hard images, and you are not getting told the full story. So I'd like to introduce myself so that you get a bit of an understanding. My name is Netanel. I am a rabbi here in East Africa. I am a rabbi in Kenya, and I go around and travel around Africa. I sit and do a lot of interfaith work and a lot of work with different communities, Jewish, Christian, and Muslim alike. On the 7th of October, on one of our holiest holidays, a day that we celebrate the Torah and we sing and dance, and around 6:30 in the morning, Hamas breaks through the border between Israel and Gaza, comes in and massacres everyone that they can find, Jews, Christians, Muslims alike. This starts a massive, massive war. As you may see, I have a necklace over here, a dog tag, that says, "Bring them home now. Bring back our children, bring back our families." Hamas in this attack killed over 1,400 people, men, women, children, elderly, handicap, everybody. In these attacks, they went and violated the bodies. They violated people. You're talking about some of the worst acts against humanity that have ever been heard of, rape beyond imagination, and violent attacks with celebration of these horrific attacks. You have people going and doing things that I don't even want to repeat over here, but so that people understand the severity of it, I will. You have men and women being shot and cut in their genitals, tortured to death, babies burned alive, women having their breasts cut off while men throw them around and play with them and video it for the world to see. This is what provokes the war. So you may ask, well, what provoked them to do this? And you'll hear that they are putting this as, we are fighting for our liberation. Many nations have fought for liberation. Many nations have had war. But these target armies, this was targeting specifically civilians, women and children in particular, trying to attack whoever they could, whoever is weak and vulnerable, as much as they could, so that they lower Israel's defense. At the same time, when you are looking at this, you're saying liberation of what? Hamas, a democratically elected government of the people in Gaza, goes and in behalf of the people of Gaza, go in to attack Israel. Israel withdrew from Gaza 18 years ago. Every single Jew that was living there, understanding that Gaza was a historically Jewish city. If you look in places in Gaza, you will still find today mosaics with King David and of menorahs that are over there. Back to the time of the temple, you have communities that have been there for 2,000 years and have been expelled and kicked out of there in the name of peace. Israel did this without being asked to try to cause and reason with the people over there. The people who Israel vouched for and said and went to the European Union and other governments and asked them to help send aid to the people in Gaza so that they can create a new Dubai or Singapore in the area. They have a port, they have a beautiful beach. I know because this is where we would go to vacation. And now, instead of making all of these things, Hamas takes all of the money and uses that money to create terror. For the past 18 years, the whole down south of Israel has been under constant attack with rockets being shot into civilians' homes, targeting at civilians every single day. Little kids learn that their life needs to be in a bomb shelter. Everybody down south is living with PTSD, with being nervous all the time of a rocket falling on them. And Israel created a self-defense system of the Iron Dome. This is not something that Israel should need to put up with. We gave them independence, we gave them the land, and their response is, from the river to the sea, we would like to kill all of the Jews. We want to ethnically cleanse Jews from the land that we come from our homeland, from a place that if, no matter which way you look at it, it's our ancestral land. We go back, I know that those that are listening are God-fearing people, are people who study the Bible, know the Bible. You read of your stories about Jesus. Where did it happen? It happened in Bethlehem. Bethlehem is 5 minutes from where I live, 5 minutes from where I grew up. Understanding that Jesus was Jewish and lived in Israel. Understanding that everything that's talked about, everything that you've learned of Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, everything that you heard about King David, King Solomon, all of these things, where did they happen? Who did they happen for? They happened for the Jewish people, for Am Israel, for the nation of Israel. We have been displaced, we have been colonized, we have been moved from place to place. And eventually when the world told us that they don't want us anywhere else and told us to go back to Israel, we went back to Israel. There have been Jews living in Israel for this entire time. There also have been other nations that lived there as well. We are not denying that. So when Israel came back, when we came back after Holocaust and pogroms and being chased, and Jews from Muslim countries have been kicked out, Iranian Jews, talking about communities that have been around since the time of the first temple, since the first temple was destroyed. You have communities from Iran and Iraq, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of Jews from Muslim countries being kicked out, being ethnically cleansed from communities that they have been way before Islam even existed. And we come back to Israel and we say, look, we understand. We understand that there are other people living over here. We are not claiming that we are coming to kick them out. We would like to come back to our home, and we will do what we could to live amongst the people. The UN sits down and makes a plan of splitting up Israel. This is not something we want, but we agree because we have no other choice. The response from the Muslim world is we need to kill all of the Jews. And they go and they attack the Jews. This is not the first war that we've had. I pray to God it will be the last. Israel has, in multiple occasions, gone and extended its hand in peace and told the Muslims, come live with us in peace. We live in peace with the Christians that live with us. We live in peace with all other religions that live with us. Yasser Arafat was offered 98%. He said not even 1% will be left for the Jews. He has advocated over and over and over again for the killing of all the Jews. Hamas is doing the same. Here around the world, ceasefire now, ceasefire now. What people do not understand is how small Israel is and how dangerous the words and the slogans that you are saying. Obviously, we are doing everything that we possibly could to protect civilian life. And only someone who is in a war zone understands this. When, on the 7th of October after this happened, I called up my commanding officer and I went and rejoined my unit back in the army. My unit is in the hills of Judea and Samaria, where things got very hot very quickly. I understand what's going on because I was there, because I lived this. We all went back because we need to. We have prayed for peace, we have offered peace, and every single time it ends the same. So right now we are fighting because we have no choice. The reality is, Hamas did a tremendous disservice to its people because it is using its people as human shields. It does not let its people evacuate, and even when we create the opportunity for Gazans to leave, we get shot at and they get shot at because Hamas knows that if they lose their human shields, it's over for them. Hamas built terror tunnels, enough room, you can put the whole New York subway system down inside those terror tunnels. All of the people in Gaza could be over there now being protected. Not a single one was allowed to go in because it is for the Hamas. Hamas made it very clear. They said, we would like our people to stay as refugees. We want our people to stay as refugees, so the UN needs to deal with them. Our job is to kill Jews. Our job is to fight. We are fighting with different ideologies. In our agenda, the way that we are fighting, we put our soldiers front to go and protect our women and children. And we are fighting against an enemy that puts its children and its women first. And I ask you again, think about it, because the information that you are getting is very, very biased. Learn more before you form an opinion. It's very important. But think very carefully about what I'm saying. What would you do if this is your family being held hostage? What would you do if your family is being tortured? Would you cease fire? Would you go and give them food and water and gas and supplies to continue the torture of your family? Or would you make sure that your children, your siblings, your wife, your husband, your parents, whoever it is, they would get to come home? Please think about it and pray for peace. Pray for Israel. Thank you.